Leppard, who received a fairly wet old welcome at Narara. Joe, Rick, Phil, welcome in.
Thanks.
Yes. Did that affect you to have to work under those conditions, or have you done plenty of that through this last American bit?
We've done one or two like that, not as bad. I mean, I've never ever seen rain like that.
That was the worst?
24 years of being alive.
And is it true, because I didn't see the actual occurrence, but someone threw water all over themselves and
Yeah, that's
with yourself?
Idiot, yeah.
And that was so that you would feel as bad off as the people out.
I just said, like, you know, if you can get wet, we can.
We was wet anyway, it was blowing.
Yeah.
It was all soaked.
I think
Stage was like, you know, puddles all over the place.
I know the Rolling Stones do that sort of thing, don't they? Every now and again, if they're out in a place where people are actually getting wet, they'll just walk out in the rain and say, well, we've got a cop it too. Very nice of you to do that. You've had the three albums, and it doesn't appear, when you look at the success the first couple had over in the UK, and then, of course, the Pyromania thing in America, it doesn't appear that you had a hard time at any time as a band, but you must have. Can you remember some of the crook times?
Well, yeah.
There's always plenty of odd times looking back, but they don't really seem that bad at the time, because you've still got the excitement of being in a band, and you know, you can put up with a lot of things. And we've done some classic gigs in front of 10 people, and you know, 3 in the morning, stupid hours like that.
And about money, you obviously had times where you really had to scrape a little.
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been together?
6 years now, just over 6 years.
Right. And so it was a couple of years before you got to record.
Yeah, it was about
2 or 3 years, I think.
We did a record on our own, which, I mean, doesn't count, I suppose, but I mean, it does in a sense. We did this self-financed EP.
Right.
We'd only played like 6 gigs, and we thought, well, we don't want to play this kind of circuit, you know, the working men's clubs, or where you do cover versions all the time, or little places where you can't even get your gear in. So we went and did a record just for the hell of it, and it turned out to be pretty good, actually, and we sent it around all the music papers in England and radio stations, and they picked up on it and started playing it a lot, which got us our first management, which got us our first deal, and it all snowballed from there.
Sorry about that. England sort of got behind you very early, but it tends to have done a reverse about face since Pyromania. Why do you think that happened?
Well, the English press are a bit funny. They're always...
A lot of people have...
Yeah. And in England, it definitely goes in trends, like, say, America. You know, a band can be successful for ages, but in England it's different. Like, one week you'll have Culture Club, and the next week you'll Adamant, and literally like that.
With the punk thing happening at the time you first started out, was that really hard for you to sort of push your way through?
I think it actually helped us, looking back, because there was only a couple of bands that was playing our type of music. There was us, and maybe a band called Iron Maiden, and so in that respect it was a little bit easier, because people would probably take a little bit more notice of you, because you weren't doing the normal thing. Everybody was like starting punk bands, you know, because it was a pretty easy thing to do. Yeah. And I think that's why we probably stood out a little bit more.
AC/DC, where is the tie there? Because you have the same producer on Pyromania. I think you've got, the same manager now, or a guy that did work with AC/DC who's managing it. So is that where all that link-up came about?
Basically, it was, we were being managed originally by these 2 guys from Sheffield in England. Who, one of them worked for a record company and thought he knew it all and didn't. The other one ran a record shop, and they thought they'd pulled some strings by getting us on the AC/DC tour. In actual fact, it was Peter that set it all up, because he wanted to manage us. So we got in with Peter that way. We supported AC/DC in England. Mutt Lang was Peter's friend, obviously. Peter played him our first album, and he said, I'd like to do their second album. And that was it.
And away you went. And good luck at Salinas tonight, which is where you are.
Right.
Let's have a look at Rock of Ages. Def Leppard, we thank them very much. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Cheers.
Have a good stay.